in 1976, I was working in an open pit mine. I had just gotten married. I had left the company. We concrete cement finishers, a family business. I'd left that because I needed some benefits, had a child on the way. So I worked in this open pit mine, which is one of the better paying jobs back then at the time. And the neat part about it is most of those guys that worked there, and there may have been 70 or 80 other men there, and I was just a boy. Most of them hunted or fished, most of them were outdoors, all farmers and, just good old boys. So during our break times and our lunch breaks, we would visit about what we were doing, where we'd been, where we'd hunted, where we fished, that was the stories that went around with our group for the most part. And some of them were really good hunters.
And where are you at?
I was
still here in
Missouri, southeast Missouri, around Deloge, I think, Bonne Terre area. 2 or 3 of those guys I became real good friends with, started hunting with a lot. Very knowledgeable for guys back in the 70s, in my opinion. I learned a lot from them. I think they learned a little from me, especially about the calling side. But one of them came in one day and he said, "Hey, Brad, my brother Jim heard this noise," and he said a buck made it, like a 4-point, standing right under him. He said he saw him do this. He watched him do this. I said, "What'd he do?" And he said he went, "Eh," and pinched his nose, made a little grunt.
Yeah.
I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He said, "Jim said he's seen him do it. He heard him do it." And he said, when he did it, another buck come walking right up. I said, "Really?" Okay. So he proceeds to teach me how to pinch my nose and grunt, which I can't do much anymore. But back then I worked at it so I could learn it. I was grunting deer before I ever heard a deer grunt. I never heard the term grunt by any other hunter at that point in time. You never saw an article. It was non-existent. Deer didn't grunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just going off of what your buddy Jim said.
What my buddy said.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the following weekend, I was at a little place called Mingo Swamps in southeast Missouri. It's down at Duck Creek, and Mingo was a waterfowl area. It's nothing but a swamp. But it was bow hunting only.
Okay.
And we would go down, had some good bucks in there. You had to hunt in the water, but you had good bucks. And I was down there, and of course, this is before I was hunting bucks. I was hunting deer, okay? Anything with hair on it. Yes, sir. If it had a little bone sticking out of its head, that was a bonus, So, but I'll never forget, I got up in that tree. I was hunting with the old Baker climbing tree stands, which I loved to this day. And you could climb the cypress trees for 30 feet before you found a limb. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
And I looked up, and here come a little 6-point buck, and I'm talking little. And he's traveling. He's 80 yards out, and he's walking, a dead walk in that swamp water, making noise, but he's going somewhere. And my first thought was, a buck, wow, it's a big buck. Well, it's like this. I wanted to kill that buck bad, and he's traveling. There's no way I'm not that good a shot. He's way too far. He's on a mission. What do I do? Grunt. Why not? I pinched my nose, grunted, and he stopped. Whoa. Now what do? He stopped. What do? Fortunately, I'm fairly aggressive, so I just grunted again. As soon as he stopped and looked my way, I grunted again. That deer walked 20 yards, turned broadside. I shot under him 6 inches. I never touched a hair, and he ran off, but it was one of the greatest hunts I ever had in my life.
Wow, yeah.
It dawned on me that I just came up with something that is going to make me a deer killing machine. And it did.